Okay, so we've got the Noctua NF-B9 PWM fan. Now this is a 92mm fan, and this is the second in a series of reviews I'm going to be doing on the Noctua fans. So stay tuned for all of them and have a look at the other one that I've done. But yeah, I'm going to show you around the box of this product, and then I'll get inside and show you what it comes with. And then I'll take it out, plug it in and see how it actually performs, and give you my conclusion on this fan in particular. So let's start off with the box now, and I'll show you around that. Okay, so here we've got the front of the box. We've got a couple of features here which there's no point really reading because I'll get onto that in a second. And just saying that it's a 92mm fan and it supports PWM. The back here you have a description of the fan. You've also got some stats for the fan, some specifications. And then moving on to the inside of the box, you've got a couple of pictures to do with what comes with the fan. You've also got the fan there as well. And then on this side you've got some information on the design of the fan itself, and the design of the tips and the vortex control notches, which is all about reducing the noise that the fan produces. So I think it's time to unbox the fan now and see what comes with it. Okay, so I'm just going to get this box open here. Put that bit to one side. Now to start off with, first bit I always go for, you've got some anti-vibration grommets. Anti-vibration mount, sorry, to connect the fan to the case if you don't want to use screws. If you want it to be slightly quieter. You've also got a 30cm extension cable. It's quite bent there. You also have a Y splitter for connecting two 4-pin PWM fans to one 4-pin PWM fan connector on the motherboard. You then have a low noise power adapter, which reduces the RPM of this fan. It's not a voltage limiter, it's an RPM limiter, and I'll get to that further in the video. It also then comes with 4 screws if you don't want to use these anti-vibration mounts. And you also have the fan itself. So I'm going to plug the fan in, see how it performs, and give you my conclusion on this particular fan. Okay, so here we've got it up and running. Now, I said I'd talk about the low noise power adapter that comes with this fan. Now, what the low noise power adapter does is it limits the RPM, whereas with a non-PWM fan it would limit the voltage that was running through the fan. This is an RPM limiter that comes with the fan. So I'm going to give you the specs to do with this fan when it's running with the LNA and when it's not running with it. So to start off with, the RPM of this fan is max at 1600 without the low noise power adapter and 1300 with it. In terms of the airflow, it pulls through 64.3 cubic meters an hour or 52.6 cubic meters per hour with the LNA. In terms of noise, it runs at 17.6 decibels without and 13.1 with. And in terms of static pressure, it runs at 1.61 without the adapter and 1.09 with the adapter. So it's time to go on to my conclusion and tell you what I think of this fan. Okay, so the actual conclusion of this fan was actually really hard to do. So I've got to explain a few things before I get on to the conclusion. Now, in my opinion, case fans, they're an accessory to the computer. They're not necessary. Now, I'm not talking about CPU, graphics card, power supply fans. They're system fans. I'm talking about the fans on the case themselves. Now, what I mean by an accessory is you don't need them for the system to run. The system shouldn't come into any problems, overheat, die or whatever without the fans being there. The fans should only really be there because it cools the computer down and helps performance of the computer overall, but they shouldn't be a necessary component to the computer. Now, that, in my opinion, means that because it's an accessory, because it's not necessary, it should only bring positives to the computer. It shouldn't really bring negatives. Now, if you were just looking at a fan, obviously you'd get positives, which would be airflow, and you'd have negatives, which would be noise. Now, what I mean in terms of what they bring to the computer in not bringing negatives is they shouldn't be louder than the system itself. They shouldn't make the system more noticeable. Now, some people would say, well, I want it to be cooler, I'll do with all the noise and everything, and I'll deal with it. Then, you know, that's their opinion. But in my opinion, I think that they shouldn't bring any noise to the system. They shouldn't be louder than the system itself. Now, I mean at idle, I don't mean like it shouldn't be louder than the blower style cooler on the graphics card. It's obviously not going to be. But I mean when it's sitting at idle, it shouldn't be louder than the system itself. Now, that leads on to my conclusion of this fan, which it was quite hard to do, so I'll get on to the conclusion now that I've explained my opinion on case fans. Okay, so now that I've explained that, this fan was so hard to do a conclusion on, because with it being a 92mm fan, you really do expect it to be a higher pitch than, you know, the rest of the system fans. Now, it is a higher pitch. I'm not going to deny that, but whether it's noticeable or not is sort of another question, really. And I had to sit there for quite a while to actually notice that the fan was there. You know, I could sit there, I could not look at the fan, but I could unplug it and I wouldn't really hear that much difference. But after a while, I sort of did start to notice that the fan was there and it was turned on. But only by the tiniest bit. Now, that means that really you can do whatever you want with this fan. It's not like the NF-R8 that I did a review on, where I recommended only using the low noise power adapter on. This fan, you can say, I want the full performance of this fan, and I'll deal with the noise that it produces and making the system more noticeable. You can, and you won't really notice the system that much more, and you'll get the full performance. Get out of my way, dust. But also, you can use the low noise power adapter and not hear it at all, and get the extra performance of having that fan there. Obviously not the full performance that the fan can do, but the extra performance of having it there. You can do that, and you can be fine with it. Really, you can do whatever you want with this fan, and it'll be perfectly fine, and it won't be a disappointment. It's an exceptional fan, with it being a 92mm fan. So overall, my conclusion is, it's a versatile fan. You can use it and not be disappointed with it at all. And with it being a 92mm fan, that is in my opinion, a really hard thing to sort of achieve. So yeah, that is my review on the Noctua NF-B9 PWM 92mm fan. I'm Hal Thompson. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, whatever you're doing. I mean, like and dislike and stuff. But yeah, goodbye. And I will have a list of all the other Noctua fan reviews at the end that I have done or will be doing in the future. So stay tuned for them as well.